right. It's the Joes back again. We missed you all. On the mic with my main man, Dave Superflex. Alan, what's going on, Dave?
Hey, how's it going? That music gets me every time. I'm over
Oh,
here
man.
bobbing and I head and loving it.
I'm waiting for a couple of bars to drop. I think we had a bar bet. I'm not feeling so good about it, though. Top 20, 25-ish for Golden Tate. We're going to have to kind of see where we are after week 8, but you might get it. If I'm right, you might get a chance to spit some bars to us. So go ahead and start putting your verses together, man.
So I know I'm gonna have to mention some of this nonsense Madden athlete covers. That's gonna have to be in there.
It's on tap. It's coming around. It's coming around. But hey, as usual, everyone, we want to thank you guys for coming back and supporting the show. Once again, we're going to be here with free content for you guys. We are developing a few things, and we'll continue to talk about those things. But again, thank you for your support, and it's almost time for fantasy football to start ramping up hot and heavy here in the next couple of months. So continue to come back and support us and get the content. I also want to thank you guys. If you would just take a second and like the video, comment. We want to be interactive with you guys. If you leave a comment, we will get back with you. Subscribe to the channel. And you can come visit us on Instagram at The Average Joe's Fantasy Football _ between each word, and also on Facebook, The Average Joe's Fantasy Football Podcast. I do want to mention the Listener League. I think we made a modification to that. Once we make the modification, we're almost full, I do believe. We're just going to do one league. Is that correct, Dave?
Yeah, just one.
Okay, so instead of 2 different leagues, one Dave heading me and I'm heading the other one, we're going to do one league altogether. I think we're almost full, maybe a couple more slots available. So if you're interested in the Listener League, go ahead and put your information down below. First come, first serve. So Dave, man, what's been going on? What's been happening? How's your week?
It's been a busy week.
Yeah.
A lot of stuff going on in the football world, and as we alluded to with the my big thing was the Madden cover. You know, that guy.
Yeah, we'll jump on that here in a little bit. But I had my week's been going pretty good. Obviously, we've had the draft and a lot of information coming out about some of the players, and man, that's been really exciting to get fantasy football kind of kicking back into high gear here. And I've been coming out with some hay fever today, man. I've been sneezing and coughing and stuff. I may have to go see a doctor about some sinuses. I don't know.
Yeah, go talk to this doctor about this. It might just be just a lot of you nervous about the bet. Like you mentioned earlier, you did mention the Golden Tate bet. I think you're just trying to keep yourself from having a clear voice for rap. That's okay. That's okay.
Hey, man, once I spit bars, I might get myself a contract. I'm not nervous. I can come out and do it. Try to
Y'all
sign
better
the boy.
cherish these next couple of podcasts. I might be moving on.
Absolutely. Well, look, man, we're going to jump right into it, try to keep the show kind of short tonight, kind of hard for you and I, but we'll see what we can do. We're going to talk about some news and notes, and we're going to do our first round rookie rankings, I suppose, or the way we would draft these rookies in the first round. We'll go over some good ones and give you guys what we think, and hopefully it'll help you out. So let's jump right in. Let's go ahead and talk about some news and notes. And at the top of everyone's list at this point in time is Tyreek Hill in that situation. I want to start with the important stuff by saying we understand there are real victims here, the mother and the son in this situation. We wish them all the best and that they're safe and everything's okay.
Absolutely.
And I am reserving judgment a little bit here. I mean, you've heard a lot of public opinion. You don't quite know all the facts, so we got to kind of say, hey, we don't know. But, it looks like with what we've heard and kind of seen what's come out, Tyreek Hill is likely done for this year. And I'm thinking there's a likelihood he's done for multiple seasons. But we have to go ahead and move on because this is a fantasy show and talk about some of the fantasy implications here. What is his value at this point in time? Is he draftable in any league?
Oh, it's for me. No, I'm staying away from Tyreek in any startup draft or anything like that. And it's kind of weird being in that position. I don't want to draft him, but if I have him on a dynasty squad or something like that, it's hard for me to get rid of him. So it's hard for me to draft him, but it's also hard for me to trade him because, if something does happen to where he does play, because you're not going to get really any value for him at all.
Right.
But no, he's absolutely, for me, untouchable. I will look over him easily in any startup draft.
Are you willing, because I've seen a lot of people trying to deal him, and oh my gosh, no one's stock went higher and fell quicker than Tyreek Hill about a week and a half ago. Oh, there's going to be no charges. Stock goes straight back up. I'm like, okay, deep breath. Like 24 hours later, here's this recording, and it went straight down to the cellar. Would you be willing to give a first round or a second round rookie pick for him?
No, I couldn't get myself to give up a first or second. There's just too much opportunity and potential in your draft picks to give up that capital for him.
Right. Yeah, you and I have the same mindset there. I mean, even before the news of the recording, people were asking about Tyreek Hill, and I was just simply saying, like, stay away. And not that I knew this was coming, but just too much uncertainty. I was probably willing to give maybe a second-round pick for Tyreek Hill, which wouldn't have gotten him about 2 weeks ago. Now you probably can get him for that if you just want to stick him on your bench and wait for maybe 2 years. We know he's a dynamic playmaker. I think he will get an opportunity to play again after having shown some remorse and maybe some anger management and doing some things for the kids and the community, kind of like Michael Vick with what he had to do to get back. Maybe a couple of years from now, we'll see. But this is, the broken arm of a child is going to be tough to overcome. So yeah, I'm saying exactly, stay away from him. Yeah, that's pretty much an unfortunate situation. All right, let's go ahead and move along here. Let's go to Doug Baldwin. Looks like he's been having multiple surgeries on the off season here, and there's a fair chance that he won't play again. He may have to retire. We don't have official word yet, but that's somewhat of that's a blow. He's been a great player for Seattle for a while.
Yeah, definitely. And the retirement conversation is what's really it's making me adjust. It's got such a trickle effect. It makes you adjust your rankings and your rookie rankings. It makes you look again at the Seahawks as a whole, and then it makes you wonder with the contract Russell Wilson guy, like where is the ball going to go? It's so much to think about. And like you said, retiring. They came out and said they're going to let him announce it as opposed to the team, and it's unlikely that news comes anytime soon. So just kind of have to wait on that.
He's still 30 years old. Don't get me wrong, that's kind of coming up on the age where you start seeing a bit of a decline, but he's not an old man by any stretch of the imagination. So I can see that fire still burning in him, and he's kind of like, I don't want to go here. If maybe I'll have these surgeries, wait a couple months, kind of see how I start feeling, and maybe there's a shot. But him being a top option in fantasy definitely looks like it's over with. And there's probably a 50-50, maybe a 60-40% shot that he just goes ahead and hang it up. So, yeah, unfortunate there, losing some playmakers here in fantasy. Do you have anything else on Baldwin, or we can move on?
No, that's about as good as we're going to get with good old Doug.
Yep. All right, let's go ahead and talk about Josh Rosen getting traded to the Dolphins. I think this is a great move for the Dolphins. I think it's a great move, honestly, for the Cardinals. And I also think it's a great move for Rosen, the player. So much happened last year with the rumors of him being traded away, with the rumors, not rumors at this point in time, with them drafting Kyler, which we'll talk about here in a minute. I don't want to get too deep into that right now. And the horrible season last year and all the responsibility that was heaped on him and a horrible offense. Getting out of town and getting a fresh start in a new place where he may not have to start. He may be able to sit back and collect himself. I think it's going to be a good thing for everybody. What do you think about Rosen to the Dolphins?
Yeah, no, I like it too. I like it too for him. And I think like you said, sitting behind a veteran, whether, regardless of who that veteran is, sitting behind and learning from Fitzpatrick is just going to be fantastic for him in the long run anyway. And like you said, with him going to Miami and them only having your only other competition is Fitzpatrick, like, okay, they want you for the future. Like they're confident in what you have, what you did, even on an off year that everybody was counting you out. You're the guy they want. So that's confidence he can get instilled in him. Looking forward to next year, and maybe we see this great Josh Rosen that never was yet. Come to fruition.
Yeah. I think it'll be good. They do have some playmakers down there. We got a different coaching staff. Hopefully they'll use their running backs the way they're supposed to be used. And he has a great running back that can catch the ball out of the backfield. They have a plethora of wide receivers, I would call probably mediocre wide receivers, but they're good enough to get the job done. We'll see what Devontae Parker possibly could do. Devontae Parker watch year 4, as we always say. But we'll see. Albert Wilson's coming back. He's going to be healthy. They have Kenny Stills there. They have Mike Gesicki, the tight end. So they have some pieces. And the defense, at least last year, was decent enough, and they brought on a defensive-minded coach from New England. We'll see how things shape up, and it might be a bright future for him there, and I am excited for him. So good. Thing number 4 I want to talk about here, and this is something that we mentioned actually one time before. Just happened today. Spencer Ware to the Colts. It just seemed like where there was smoke, there was fire. They kept bringing in all these running backs. Now, if you're a Marlon Mack owner, if it was inevitable that they were going to bring in another running back, this is probably just about as good as you could possibly hope for.
Yeah, absolutely. Best case.
Spencer Ware is not going to take Marlon Mack's job, but what does it say about the team's confidence in Marlon Mack?
Yeah, I look at it as more standpoint of his injury. I think that they like what they have with Marlon. I think that they are going to continue to use him and work him as much as they feel confident in. I don't think it's anything about, how good is he, can he be it for us. I think it's more of, we have to make sure that we're not overworking him, and we need a solid running back behind him. Mm-hmm. But yeah, like you said, I think this is best case scenario that it's Spencer Ware, not the rumored Jay Ajayi or the other rumored people that we heard about. Yeah. So, but definitely something to
even
look at.
T.J. Yeldon would have been pretty rough. Yeah.
Absolutely right. Yeah. So, but it is as a Mac owner, it is something to look at, knowing you most likely don't have that quote unquote bell cow with Marlon Mack going into this year.
Yeah. Now, if you're a Mac owner, is it imperative that you get Spencer Ware as a handcuff, knowing Marlon Mack's history? And the reason I'm asking this question is because when the news broke today, the first thing I did was went to the Marlon Mack owner and said, "Hey, I got Spencer Ware here. Let's talk second round pick." And I think if he didn't have so many holes in his team, he possibly would have considered it. Would you spend a mid-round, late-round, second-round pick on Spencer Ware to bring him in as the handcuff?
For me, handcuffs are weird for me. The way I go about handcuffs is it really depends on my roster setup and what I have going on.
Of course.
So in this situation, I probably wouldn't give up the second round. I'd see if I can get, someone who I feel like is going to have a better role, better chance in a different system, and not too much worry, especially if Marlon Mack gets hurt. Even having Spencer Ware on my team, I don't know if I ever feel comfortable enough to put him in there as opposed to whatever else I might have on my roster. So that's what it really boils down to.
All right. Yep, I like it. All right, let's go ahead and talk about the last thing before we'll jump into our rankings. And it's something that's kind of near and dear to my heart at this point in time. Mahomes cursed? Question mark. So as we all know, Mahomes is now on the cover of the 2019 Madden cover, and when that happened, I said, "Oh no! Oh, what man Dave want to do? Like, oh, This is the number one quarterback in fantasy. Now, I'm not talking about just dynasty. You got to rank him number one quarterback, redraft, dynasty, whatever you want to look at. And he's on the Madden cover. Okay, and I sent you like a little meme that popped up on the internet, like, oh, Mahomes about to have a great year. Oh, promising young career. And then the Madden cover, I'm about to end this whole man's career. I'm about to end the whole thing. About to take him out. You know what I mean? But you know,
Yeah.
folks, I'll tell you what. My man Dave here is true to his word. He don't play games with the Madden cover. As soon as Mahomes is on it, 2 days later, Mahomes is traded.
Out of there.
Out of there. He stays true. He stays true. And if we had more than 6 listeners, I may not say this because it may be politically incorrect right now, but the Madden curse is already taking hold. And now I'm making light, guys. I understand the situation, but losing Tyreek Hill is nothing to sniff at. That's a dynamic playmaker that's going to have an effect on the offense, and we'll talk about his replacement here in a minute. But yeah, I mean, the Madden curse manifested itself in certain ways, and it may not be just affecting that particular player, but last year we seen with Antonio Brown, all the drama. He had a good year statistically, but all the drama surrounding him. Do you think the Madden curse follows Mahomes?
Absolutely. I think it hurts Mahomes, and the unfortunate part about it is, and I'm going to do my best not to attribute this to the Madden curse. He's obviously due for regression with him 50 touchdowns and what have you last year. So that's what's going to happen, whether he was on the Madden cover or not. What I'm going to be looking forward to is but paying attention to is how much is the regression and how much goes on. Does he get hurt? Is he hurt for the year? Is there a serious injury? Those kind of things. And those are just things that the Madden curse has continued to do. Had to put him away. And one more thing I wanted to say, this podcast has given Oli the upper hand, us being in the same league, because as soon as he knew about Mahomes on the front cover, he was the first person to ask me.
That's right. I'm the one that scooped him up, and I feel like I got him on a bit of a discount. Not too bad. It wasn't a bad trade. We traded Mahomes for Russell Wilson, my 2019 second, 2020 first, and Marquise Lee. And before you laugh at Marquise Lee, we got so many starters in that league that a player getting you 7-8 points may actually end up starting a handful of games for you. So he got a pretty decent haul for someone he was probably itching to get rid of anyhow as soon as he heard. Because, still, Russell Wilson's still a top 5 dynasty quarterback. So we got a
absolutely. And before me and you made the trade, I had actually come out before I knew Mahomes was on the cover. Because of how my team is, I needed to move Mahomes, so I actually had put out a kind of a PSA that he was on the block, and I didn't really have very many great offers. I think, like you said earlier, the Tyreek Hill situation is making owners take heed, not scaring them away from Patrick, but they're kind of taking heed at how much do I give up for him now? Right.
Yeah. We'll talk about this a little. I don't want to get too deep into what I think about that because we got a couple guys we got to talk about here. But I just think the talent for Mahomes is going to shine through. And for me personally, it was a championship move. I was very close last year to winning the championship. One of my issues was injuries, and if I can get an extra 5 points out of my quarterback position over Russell Wilson, who I had, then I may take that, and that may put me in I'm trying everything I can to get this championship this year. So I think it puts me one step closer, and if he can continue to have success, we'll be looking good. So anyhow, good deal. We'll talk about some more people later on, but right now let's go ahead and get into our rankings. And I'll let you start it off. Again, we're just going to kind of go how we would draft these people, what order, and we'll talk about each one of them a little bit here. We're running at 20 minutes. Hopefully we can get through each person in a couple minutes and get you guys out of here. Let's talk about 101. Now we're going to rank this one quarterback league, okay? Obviously in a two quarterback league, you're taking Kyler Murray, likely 101, just too much potential there. He's still pretty high, in my opinion, even in the one quarterback league. But let's go one quarterback league on this one. Who's your 101?
Yeah, 101 for me, one quarterback league is going to be Josh Jacobs.
Yeah.
I believe that there's just too much opportunity in Oakland. He should be starting right off the bat.
Yeah.
Good receiver out of the backfield, and I think that's the best fit, best opportunity that of any rookie in the class that you're going to get.
Yeah, yeah. We're eye to eye on that. I got Jacobs 101 as well. Just talent meets opportunity, and I don't know where he ranks on the scale of talent of running backs we've seen come out recently. I probably may put him on a scale of possibly a Mixon kind of a player. He was actually, now I hate to say this as an Alabama fan, a little heavier than I thought. I thought he was more around the 205 or 210. He's a solid guy. He's 5'10", 220. That is workhorse size in the NFL, and he's quick. I've heard maybe not all the top end speed that you want, but he's fast enough. Can catch the ball out of the backfield. And again, as you mentioned before, they have a bunch of mediocre running backs there in Oakland, and they typically, give the ball pretty decently to one guy if they really like him from what I've seen. So if he can come in there, do well, I think he's going to get a lot of opportunity. 15 to 16 touches a game is going to be more than enough for him to be very relevant in fantasy. The only sad part of this is my Chris Warren take seems like it's kind of going up in smoke. I like what I've seen out of this guy last offseason. He's like a monster in waiting to happen. They kind of shelved him on IR for a minor surgery, a little minor procedure. They put him to the side. I thought they were going to bring him out this year. I still hope he gets a chance to go somewhere and do something at some point in time. But yeah, Jacobs is the 101. All right, man. My number two guy here is probably no surprise, Harry, N'Keal Harry, going to Patriots.
Yeah. Yep.
Not super excited about the landing spot, but the one thing that you've heard from different analysts and different experts in the league is that though he's a great receiver, he doesn't have great separation from the cornerback. He can go up and get the ball. He's not slow. He's quick enough, but just doesn't get a lot of separation. That could have something to do with foot speed. That could have something to do with the whatever moves you make, whatever. But if you got one guy in the league that needs to put it on a dime, I trust Tom Brady to put it
right,
on a dime.
Yeah, you got him.
Yeah,
got him.
Yeah, and so I think that'll be a good spot. There's no alpha dog pass catcher there. I probably still say Edelman is going to be the lead dog there as far as pass, the number of targets and all that great stuff. But I think Harry will get plenty of opportunity.
Yeah, no, I'm right there with you. He's my number two as well. And, it kind of came down to, like you said, where he went and who else you really going to put above a talented receiver going to the Patriots, going to play with Tom Brady, especially being able to go in there. They don't have Josh Gordon. Chris Hogan's gone. He has every opportunity to get on the field. The only thing that I was thinking about when I was looking at N'Keal is I always hear about how complex the Patriots offense is to learn. So we'll go in with that, see how well he can get it. And in dynasty terms, he's going to be with Brady for 2 years maybe.
Yeah.
Brady's got maybe 2 more years. So those things kind of make you think about it. But no, obviously he's got to go number 2. I don't see another receiver landing in a better spot or doing much better than that.
Yeah. I think you have some time to grow. The thing about the Patriots is there's a certain culture they have there. Like it or love it or no fun, whatever you want to call them. Some ex-Patriots players have come out and said it's really unfun being there, and some people don't believe it. I don't know what to believe, but you come in the line. You will be brought in line there with the Patriots. They will understand. You come in there, you understand, get your head in the playbook, and know what the heck is going on when you step on the field with Tom Brady. I kind of likened it back in the 90s with Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen and Phil Jackson. Just the culture they had there, the culture that Jordan and Phil put in that team when they brought in kind of a X factor half crazy guy like Dennis Rodman, who was acting a fool everywhere else, but he went to the Bulls straight in line. You know, I mean, he still had his, you know, he still had his little flares here and there of his own personality, but it wasn't all the nonsense you've seen before because now you're on a championship roster. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's funny how winning can straighten a person up.
Yeah, same thing. Randy Moss went to the same team. Randy Moss went to the Patriots. All those shenanigans out the window, right? Just production. So good deal. Let's go ahead and talk about your number 3 guy.
Yeah. So number 3 for me is actually going to be Kyler Murray.
Woo! Oh wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So
you're going to turn some heads in some leagues if you go number 3, bro.
Yeah, I put him at number 3 because, like you said, I couldn't get him at 1 or 2. I couldn't put him that high, but I like and the quarterback ranking again is, for me, it would be my roster setup. How in a 1 quarterback league, how bad do I need a young quarterback, or how bad do I need a quarterback at this position? So going off of that and opportunity solely based, I had, you put Kyler Murray there, super dynamic, every chance in the world to to go out there and be fantastic. He's going in with an offensive minded coach in Cliff. That definitely wants to get the ball out in the air raid, not really air raid, but get the ball out, and he's going to have David Johnson there as a fantastic pass catching running back to get a couple of catches and be able to settle down, especially in his first year. So I think he can translate pretty well.
Yeah, and they brought some weapons in the draft, and I'm looking here. I don't know if I see a whole lot of those guys in my top 12, so we can maybe mention this a little bit. We'll probably have a round 2 show as well, but they brought in Isabella, they brought in Butler. They already had Kirk there, and they still got the veteran. Oh wow, I'm forgetting the veteran thing.
Larry, don't you dare.
Fitzgerald. Yeah, Fitzgerald. I mean, he has a lot of weapons around him there, and I like him a lot as well. 3 might be a little high for me in 1 quarterback league, but if you absolutely have to have a quarterback, you shouldn't be in that position, though. In 1 quarterback league, 12-team standard league, or PP, whatever, it doesn't really matter for quarterback, you shouldn't be in a position where you have nobody. You should have one of the top 12 guys, one of the top 13 guys at worst, and having to grab Kyler Murray shouldn't be. If you want to grab him on, potential alone, hey, next 2 or 3 years he may be my starter, my number 1 guy, fine. But you shouldn't be in that bad position. But yeah, he's definitely talented. My number 3 is David Montgomery. I like him in the Bears offense. They brought in Mike Davis and paid him a pretty good lump sum of money to be what we thought possibly the bell cow back there. Mike Davis, he looked really good in San Francisco, looked really good when he was in Seattle, but apparently he wasn't the guy they wanted to handle the load full time. I just think it's just going to be opportunity for David Montgomery. Some people had him on the level of a Josh Jacobs. Some people said he was the number 1 running back in this class. We got differing opinions, but again, opportunity meets talent there in Chicago. And I haven't seen a lot of tape on him. I'm not going to sit here and pretend to be an expert, but I've heard he can also catch pretty well. So that offense should, with the Nagy offense, he should move the ball. He should get plenty of opportunity.
Yeah, I like David Montgomery as well. I think he definitely has the potential to beat out Mike Davis. He's like I was joking with a Bears fan and said he's like a Jordan Howard 2.0. I think they were able to get him in because this guy can catch. He can catch and he can catch, and a big thing is he can block, and that's going to be really great. And that's going to be, of course, blocking doesn't mean much for fantasy purposes, but when you're thinking about who's going to play over the other guy, it's something we talked about with Aaron Jones and Jamal Williams a lot last year. They like the guy that can block is going to get in the game. You're going to protect your quarterback, and as long as he's in the game, you get an opportunity. So, yeah, I actually have Montgomery as my number 5, but I like Montgomery as well.
Okay, all right. And I think, do I go first on this one, or you go first?
I went first. No, you go first now. You're number 4. Okay. You got it.
My number 4 guy is Miles Sanders. I would be willing to put him at number 3 if he wasn't in Philadelphia and we hadn't seen the train wreck of the carousel of running backs going in and out the game. You know, your guy just got a 15-yard gain. You know, okay, we're rolling, and he's on the bench. I'm not give the ball. What's going on? You're like, what is happening? So Peterson has shown the affinity not to keep one guy in the game. Now, I think Miles Sanders is probably head and shoulders above who they have on the field who they have on the roster right now as an all-purpose, all-around three-down backs. We may see that shift a little bit, but even when they had Jay Ajayi, it took several games. I mean, almost to the end of the season where you start to see him get 12 or 13 carries a game, which is a minimum for someone you want to put in your starting lineup. So I really like him there. I like his talent. I think he was a superb talent watching him in college. I just don't know about the coaching.
Yeah, I'm the same way with you. I've got him at number 4 as well, for a lot of the same reasons. I will say, looking at a couple of articles and a couple of Eagle things, is we might go, or the Eagles might go to more of a 2 running back set. You're not going to not see Jordan Howard. So your issue now having Miles Sanders is where does Jordan Howard factor? Does he still goal line touches? As Miles Sanders owners, are you going to lose touchdowns or red zone touches to Jordan Howard? And it's a possibility.
If Jordan comes into the game, let's say just not for goal line, let's say he gets into the rotation. There's a true rotation here. Miles Sanders, even though he can catch the ball just fine, I do believe. I don't think he caught the ball that much at Penn State, but I think he has the skill to do it. I don't think it's the problem.
Yeah.
But Doug Peterson has shown that he likes the traditional kind of scat back for the third down back. Right. He played Sproles like every third down. He loves Sproles. And Sproles hadn't even said he's retiring just yet. He just hasn't quite made up his mind. He may come back. But do you see possibly a situation where you have Miles Sanders, you have Jordan Howard, and you have Clement or Wendell Smallwood as a third down back or some nonsense?
I won't put it past Doug, but I do really believe that majority of the game you're going to see a Miles Sanders, you're going to see a Jordan Howard. I don't believe at this point, I don't see us keeping Smallwood, Josh Adams, Clement, Howard, and Sanders.
Okay.
I would like to see it get cut down to 3. Once again, I won't be surprised if we keep 4 of the 5, unfortunately. But I do think you'll see a heavy dose of the top 2 with Jordan Howard and Sanders. You just have to pick and choose of when you think Howard will be in the game. And closer we get to preseason, it'll be easier to tell that.
Okay. All right. Now, last question. We got to move on. But what do you think about Josh Adams? I know he kind of got in the doghouse. Is he's done there?
Unfortunately, I like Josh. I like him a lot as a fan, but I don't see him getting past Clement necessarily. I think it's going to be between Smallwood and Adams is who's going to be out of the gate. And I think Smallwood's going to provide that special teams effect more than Adams will. So you might see Adams moving on.
Yeah. All right, who's your number 5?
Number 5 was David Montgomery. We already kind of touched on him and everything, so I'll let you go ahead and talk about yours.
Okay. All right. I got Metcalf at number 5, and that might be a little high for some people, but I just 100%, I don't care what anybody says, you cannot convince me he did not land in nearly the perfect spot. There were maybe 3 or 4 places in the league that I felt would have been perfect. One would have been the New York Giants because they don't have an alpha dog there. The second maybe would have been the New England Patriots because we've seen what Josh Gordon did for a limited time there. We've seen Tom Brady work with Randy Moss. I think that would have been great as well. Number 3 would have been maybe just for this season only, but the Dolphins. Again, no alpha pass catcher, and Fitzmagic likes to throw the rock down the field. I thought that would have been pretty awesome. But just even from a dynasty's perspective, going forward with the continuity with the with the quarterback, because in each one of those situations, you got quarterbacks who are going to be leaving out of the league here in the next couple of years. Eli Manning, Tom Brady, and Fitzmagic is kind of a stopgap for a year. In Seattle, he has a quarterback he can go 3, 4, 5, 6 years with, and Russell Wilson is an awesome downfield passer. You seen what he did with Tyler Lockett? They had the highest efficiency rating in the league last year. It was close to the top. It may not be the number one, but it was 1, 2, or 3 or something like that. With deep passes, and Russell Wilson, he can create in the backfield. I mean, he can extend the play, give him time to get open, and he doesn't have to have this ridiculous route tree everybody wants him to have. He just needs to be fast.
Yeah.
And big.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
I love it.
We talked about it last year. Russell Wilson might throw the ball 12 times, but there'll be 4 or 5 touchdowns. And you got a big body down there to catch those touchdowns.
Absolutely.
You're all good. I think if he can get in the end zone as much as we saw some receivers last year, I think people will be okay with the lack of reception that might come with it. But
now, if he went to a place like Buffalo or Carolina with more inaccurate quarterback, then okay, well, hey, you got to have all this route tree to get open, or you have to have all this separation to go. That's not where he is, man. I would not bat an eye taking him number 3. I wouldn't bat an eye. He won't go that high. I would.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm 100% with you. I have moved him. He's been as high as 2 for me, and he's been as low as 11. I've been moving him around as I listen to more and more people say different things. I heard something today that he can only play on one side of the field, and that kind of made me obviously drop him down. And I was like, well, you obviously want more than that, but. Yeah, I like him, and I'm trying not to get caught up in the combine greatness.
Yeah.
I saw a lot of comparisons to. I heard some comparisons to Kevin White. Not necessarily saying he is Kevin White, but the fact that Kevin White had a great combine and yada yada whatever. So, but yeah, I'm a huge fan of DK. Huge guy. 4'3", 40. I mean, he's got speed out the wazoo. It's crazy. I like him. If he went number 3, I would not say anything about it other than nice pick.
Yeah. Hopefully he can stay healthy. But I like it. I like it a whole lot there. All right. So number 6, and this is kind of where you probably start veering off a little bit. And I'm just looking at talent and opportunity. For me, it's Noah Fant. They're in Denver. Tight end is a limited commodity in most leagues. You don't have like a quarterback, 12 guys you can plug in there and be just fine with, or even 50 quarterback, maybe even 15 guys you can plug in and be pretty happy with. It's not the wide receiver where I can get someone in the mid-round, that's just as good as the guy in the 3rd round, maybe a few receptions less, but overall I got good value. That doesn't happen with tight end. You got 4 guys, and everybody else is on a different tier, way different tier. We already talked about these guys at length, but the number 4 guy I think kind of sliding in there was Evan Ingram this year, or Eric Ebron, if you want to consider him possibly still getting all those touchdowns. But those top 3 guys are on another world, another planet, and someone who can come in with a quarterback who loves their tight end the way that Joe Flacco loves his tight end and is going to start day 1. Noah Fant, to me, has top 10 potential in his rookie season.
Yeah. It's funny that you said what you said about Joe Flacco, because I had a guy come in the league and ask us of the 3. He was trying to take 3 tight ends. I think it was believed Noah Fant, TJ. And I can't remember the other tight end, but I was telling him of the 3 teams you named, Joe Flacco is the most likely to throw it to his tight end. So as far as opportunity, I mean, it's exactly what you said. I think that Noah Fant is a great talent. He's got wide receiver speed. I mean,
he's fast.
He's fantastic, and he has every opportunity to, like you said, be a top 10 tight end, and to get you a young tight end that's going to be elite. I mean, it's hard to pass that up.
Absolutely, yeah. That's why I'm so very high with some of these other guys, but I'm sure your number 6 is different than mine. Who do you have?
Yeah, my number 6 is actually his teammate. I got TJ
Okay.
at 6.
I'm
TJ
glad
Hawkinson.
you did that. I'm glad you brought him up. Go ahead.
Yeah, started right away, and I think everyone knew that before the news came out that he was going to start immediately.
Yeah.
You do have Jesse James there, but I think it's just such a pass-heavy offense in Detroit. They've always been that. Now Stafford loves to fling the ball downfield, but I think that Hawkinson will be able to get in those holes that Golden Tate was getting into, the short intermediate route that Tate was doing for him, and Hawkinson can get a lot of receptions and turn a lot of things upfield.
I sure hope you're right. He was my number 1 tight end in the class, just like probably everybody else's. Him or Noah Fant kind of switched back and forth, and I just can't. With Stafford. He does not throw the ball to the tight end. He just doesn't do it. Who was the last relevant? They drafted Eric Ebron super high when they drafted him. He has the talent. We've seen that last year. When given the opportunity, Eric Ebron can get it done. And they just did not pass him the ball. And I think they went for Hawkinson, not only for the fact that he does have some great receiving skills, but he's a good run blocker. And they want to get the run established in Detroit there. And I just don't know if he's going to get the kind of passing work we're hoping for. I truly hope he does. He's a great talent. Honestly, I don't even have him in my top 12 because of where he landed. He was one of the people that in this draft, players you were hopeful for just landed in terrible spots. For instance, if Josh Jacobs had gone to Philadelphia, 3 or 4, 5, somewhere around there. Not even kidding. Like, I wouldn't have drafted him 101. There's some other players we'll probably talk about later on, just in bad spots. That I'm just not. I'm going with the people that land in good spots that have the opportunity to come out and help me this year. So I like it. TJ Hawkinson, I mean, I wouldn't draft him number 6, but great talent, and he's going to get the opportunity, definitely. Who's your number 7?
So to definitely go right into what you were just saying about players that went in bad spots, Marquise Brown, Hollywood.
Yeah.
He's my number 7, and he's low. I mean, I feel like 7 is low, and it's low because he's in Baltimore. You know, you are in a run-first, run-heavy offense with Lamar Jackson, who has the mindset of let's take off before I throw it. But Marquise Brown is just such a great talent. He's going to start because there are no other receivers in Baltimore. So he will start. I saw today he's been clocked at 4.3. I believe he didn't test at the combine, but 4.3 is his 40 around there. So great speed, separation speed. It's just unfortunate where he ended up getting drafted.
Yeah. Now, there's a couple of things here. And most of the industry experts are kind of in the camp that you're in, and I'm just not there. Number 1, and refresh my memory, and I maybe have him mixed up. Is he not nursing an injury? Liz Frank.
I think he is coming off of an injury. Yeah.
Okay. He may not be ready for the start of the season.
Or is that AJ?
No, it's not AJ Brown. I don't think so.
Okay.
We'll have to we'll get back on that. You know what? Let's do it right now. Hold on. Let me see if I can grab this real quick for the listeners. I don't want to give anybody wrong information. All right.
I can't say in confidence one of these Browns come out.
Liz Frank injury. Golly, hold on. Brown. Let's see if it's Liz Frank injury. Brown pop something up for me. Marquise Brown. Yeah, that's him.
Okay.
Yeah, so you may not be ready for the start of the year. I'm not sure if that affects his speed or his cutting or whatever, but also on top of that, he's like 160 pounds soaking wet.
Yeah, he's little. He's little. Yeah, he is.
we've had some small guys. Tariq Hill maybe, but he has some girth. Tariq Hill's not. I'm not. What is he's like 200, 205, something like that. He's not a teeny tiny little guy. I mean, he has some bulk to him. What's the last 160-pound player that has been successful in the league? Please name him.
Only name that comes to mind. I think Deshaun Jackson is around.
Oh, he's like 180. Isn't he? Hold on.
Oh, he was 180?
I'm about to pull him up. No, we got to find out for the people. The people need to know. Hold on. Deshaun Jackson. Let's see if I can get his weight. Weight. 175. So we're about 10 pounds off, but this is almost, when you're talking about giants, and we are talking about the modern day giant are in the NFL. So you're talking about giants and people who lift weights for a living and eat iron, and some of them take steroids and all that great stuff. You got a 160-pound wide receiver, he may not live. I mean, I'm being honest, I don't know if he's going to be able to take the punishment of the NFL. And this is almost like boxer weight. 5 pounds can make a difference, you know. That's why they have different divisions. You can't go fight at 160 and 170 because the other guy's just way too big and strong for you. I don't know, man. I don't have with that injury, with his weight, and with him going to the most horrible pass offense in the league. I'm out. I'm out.
Too many X's, yeah.
I'm out.
X's for you.
I can't.
He's gonna, he's got. Of course, the off season won't be enough, but he's got time to get strength and conditioning and get on a weight program to get that weight up.
But does that affect his blazing speed though?
Right. Yeah. No, that's true. That's true. How do you adjust when you lift weight? Can you keep the speed? You obviously have to lose some of it. So he's out of my top. He's out of my top 10. I can maybe put him in the top 12, but I can't. I just can't. All right. My number 7 is Kyler Murray. We already spoke about him a little bit at length here, so not going to take a whole lot of time. But in a one-quarterback league, again, he's a little lower on the list, but he's the tier cutoff for me. That is the elite guys coming out. Number 8 through whatever is now your second-tier guys in the first round, in my opinion. So we'll just scoot on to number 8. And number 8, again, is just kind of a opportunity thing. That's all I'm looking for right now. I'm not looking for people in bad situations. I'm going with Deebo Samuel. I like, I really, really like, oh my gosh, having my senior moment, man. What's the other wide receiver's name? Dante Pettis.
I like Dante Pettis a whole lot. But he's not an alpha dog that we've seen just yet. He had some good games, but is he that guy that we 100% are going to rely on? And I think the 49ers told us in the draft, not really. We're taking a couple of wide receivers to bulk up our wide receiver core. And they got Marquise Goodwin there. And they got our boy Richie James, who's not going to get on the field. Poor Richie, man. I thought he was going to get the starting slot this year, man. I really wanted to see him play. I really did, man.
Yeah, we need to get a petition or something just to go off of the rail a little bit. Richie needs to play. If you guys
he's a baller.
Seen Richie James, you've got to watch. This guy is good. He's got talent.
He's a baller. Get the ball in his hand. He is a baller. I really like Richie James, and he has that grit. And he seems like he's grateful to be in the league. He comes out. It seems like he's that hard working kind of guy. And, man, I really hope he gets an opportunity, but it looks like he may be buried number 5 on the depth chart. Maybe number 4. We'll see what happens with Marquise Goodwin and some of those injuries. But, you got Pettis, you got Samuel, Jalen Hurd, I really like there. He's not my top 12, but I want to mention him as a kind of a big wide receiver who used to play running back. So he has some moves. I think they're going to get him on the field. So we'll see an interesting, combination of wide receivers there. And they still have another guy there that was coming on at the end of the year. Bourne, I believe his name is. Kendall Bourne. Yeah, we'll see how it happens there. But Deebo Samuel coming in with Jimmy G and no alpha dog. He may end up being the man. They obviously really liked him in the second round.
Yeah, definitely. I think that this is where you start, like you said, this is where you start looking for people opportunity, look for people that in the actual draft where they were drafted.
Right.
How early were they drafted? Did the team trade up to draft and things of those nature? And yeah, Debo has all the opportunity. The thing that was reserving me from him that dropped him out of the top 12 for me was I kept reading a lot of things about him being maybe strictly special teams for this first year or a lot of special teams for the first year. Now we have no idea what that's going to be when the season comes around. But that was my reserve for him. But yeah, definitely, like you said, every opportunity and a good talent.
Absolutely. Who do you got?
Yeah, number 8 for me was Noah Fant. And, I could just repeat the same things we've already said. Like I said, with Joe Flacco being there, he has all the opportunity. He's going to get him the ball, and he's a great talent.
Good deal. Who's your number 9?
Number 9, another guy that I'm not happy with the spot he went to, A.J. Brown, going to the Titans.
Yeah. He dropped out of my top 12. If he had gone to San Francisco, he'd be like 5 or 6.
Yeah.
He's out of my top 12, man. But go ahead.
Yeah, his production for me, it's automatically capped. As soon as the Titans drafted him, his production the lid was placed.
Yeah,
a big lid of his production. Yeah, it was huge, and you can't argue with his talent, size, all that is fantastic. What you can look at is Mariota's throwing him the ball. You can look at the fact that
that's number 1 and number 2. Mariota throwing the ball. Then you go number 2. Mariota's a quarterback. Number 3, they happen to have this dude named Mariota. All right, now what's thing number 4 holding him?
Yeah, exactly. No, exactly. And then, they said they kind of came to a realization at the end of the year last year that if we give Derrick Henry a lot of touches, look what he can do.
Yeah.
So you can only imagine how that's going to translate into this year.
Yeah.
And the last thing that I saw was he was used a lot in the slot. That's where he got, his slot was where he got did a lot of production. They just brought Adam Humphries in. So who are we moving?
Who?
Humphries, Taywan Taylor, AJ, who's playing?
Dude, I mean, I'm on the same level with you. They almost have too much talent there at the wide receiver position with the mediocre, less than mediocre at best, quarterback. What made at one point, at least one season, started to make Mariota pretty valuable was his ability to run. He was looking like he was starting to emerge and come out a little bit. It hasn't quite taken hold yet because of some of the injuries and whatnot, so we'll see. But, I mean, they do have an alpha. Corey Davis is an amazing talent. He was a great wide receiver, and the quarterback play was better there, or the offense, whatever. Maybe it's not all Mariota, whatever, was better there. He would have better. But they have a number 1. Then they have Taywan Taylor, who's a burner. He's fast. He can get down the field. He's not a slouch. He belongs on the field. And then they just paid Adam Humphries $9 million a year to come in and play slot. What is Tennessee doing? Why? Why?
Yeah. It's funny, and it's like we're gonna get. It's almost as if they're saying we're gonna get all this talent. So Mariota, you have no excuses. But at the same time, we're going to get all these receivers to give Henry the ball a lot.
Yeah.
So we're going to blame you, but we're giving Henry the ball. Like, what are we doing?
Yeah, and they also have one more guy. He may not play much, but they have and he's not a bad receiver at all. I can see his face, but I can't remember.
Tajay Sharp? Are we
Sharp.
Is that
Sharp. Tajay Sharp. Yeah,
Sharp's good.
Yeah, he's not a bad guy to come off the bench.
And not to mention Delaney Walker, Jonnu Smith. Like there's pass catchers that can play that are there. They're already there.
I moved him out. He's out of my top 12, man. I like him as a talent, but I can't do it. My number 9 guy was Irv Smith. Again, actually, this is maybe one of the guys that doesn't have the opportunity right off. I didn't like the landing spot with them having Kyle Rudolph there. I think Irv Smith could have came in day one and been a starter. But they have Kyle Rudolph there. I see them doing some 2 tight end sets, possibly to give them that flexibility of that run pass option of being able to have to hand the ball off to Cook and have 2 tight ends on the field blocking, or then still being a two tight end set and still have a great passing attack, because Irv Smith is fast. He's just as fast as a wide receiver. He's going to create some separation. He's going to create some mismatches. And that's something that Kyle Rudolph does not do. What Kyle Rudolph is good at is being very good possession tight end. He very sure-handed, and I understand from a football perspective what they did. Is he going to have the fantasy success this year? Maybe not. But again, the tight end landscape, and if we're looking especially in Dynasty, I like him. That's why I split him in the top 12.
Yeah, and to go along with that, a couple of things that I heard is, don't be surprised if Kyle Rudolph is traded by the beginning of the regular season. I don't know how much that's rumored out. I don't know if the Vikings have even come out and said anything like that, but it is worth to note that has been said. It has been something that's been looked at. And if that happens, Irv Smith he's the guy, and for every reason that you just said, he's potentially be fantastic.
Absolutely. Who's your number 10?
Oh, so I hope you're sitting down, man, and I really hope you don't get too upset with me. But number 10 is going to be Darrell Henderson. That's my number 10 guy.
Oh, well, way too high. Way too high.
Well, let me definitely
explain yourself.
So, yeah, Darrell Henderson has, fantastic talent. He's definitely one of the better backs in the entire draft, and he's going to be in a great offense. He's going to have the potential, the opportunity to, if they go into the season thinking, okay, we're gonna back off a little bit from Todd Gurley. And I know that sounds crazy, but we just saw in the playoffs him not play at all. So going into the regular season, they have the mindset of, you know what, let's split that. As opposed to not playing in the playoffs, let's gauge him in the regular season so we can have him when we get in the playoffs. We can use him more and play him more. Not only that, I do believe they traded up to grab Darrell Henderson. So with that draft capital and that alone, that reason, it makes me intrigued automatically.
Do you know who else was drafted in the third round? Kenyon Drake.
Was he traded up to get?
I don't know if we just traded up to get or not, but let me say this. He is firmly, I don't care if Todd Gurley has 60% of the leg, firmly behind Todd Gurley in the depth chart. They paid him a year ago. We're not talking about 4 or 5 years into his contract here where most of the dead money is gone and maybe they can kind of move. They paid him CEO money. He's getting on the field. If he can run, he's going to get some carries. He's firmly behind Todd Gurley. And then they matched the offer from Malcolm Brown, who is a Todd Gurley comparison as far as the skills are concerned. He's not Todd Gurley. He's not as good. We understand that. But when you seen Todd Gurley get spelled and Malcolm Brown come in, there was not much fall off from the offense. There was not much fall off from the running back position. I think, don't get me wrong, you could call him a handcuff to Gurley if you want. Absolutely. And we know Gurley has this thing with the leg, and he may only be 90% now. But it's not taking him out of the league. It's not taking him out of his starting role. He is a handcuff, and there are starters that you can get right here. He's a little bit too high in the rankings. But I believe he's going to be a change of pace back. He's going to be more of a third down back when they want to spell Todd Gurley and give him third downs. So, fantasy relevant? Absolutely. Number 10? No. Too high.
I could not. I do not see anybody else. And this is just me, I'm not necessarily disagreeing. Just saying I don't see anyone else that I would take if I'm gonna rank Miles Sanders where I rank him, and I'm expecting him to be splitting carries as well. I think
but he's the starter. He'll be the starter. It's different.
Maybe moving forward, there's not a necessarily guarantee for him to start this year when they just traded for Jordan Howard.
No, I think he'll be the starter day one, and he'll get the 50% carry margin, and the other guys will kind of come around 10, 15%, whatever. Miles will be starting. This dude's not starting. He may not. They had a great change of pace guy last year, just about the same kind of MO. John Kelly. A lot of people loved him before the season started. They said, go out there and get John Kelly. He didn't get on the field. I don't think I've seen him.
Yeah, no, I mean that. Okay, I'll give you that. I believe if Darrell Henderson can get his pass blocking together, he will solidify his. Of course, I agree he's not going to start, but I think he'll solidify a backup role behind Gurley. He will beat out Malcolm Brown, and I think that at this point, where we're looking at with Gurley and his injury and his situation, that is enough to get him high enough to pick him around this area.
Well, I hope you're wrong because I'm a Gurley owner and I'm trying to target him in the draft, but just late second round. Like, it cannot be the first round. You can't spend a first round pick on him. You can't if you're the Gurley owner and the rest of your team is rock solid. Maybe you reach, but if you have needs, there's no way you can take him in the first round with your first overall pick. Now, if you have 3 or 4 picks in the first round. But even still, if you got 3 or 4 picks in the first round, that's because your team sucks and you trade everyone away. Like, you can't. But okay, all right, hey, fine, no problem. My number 10 guy is Hakeem Butler. I don't know why. I just like him.
Yeah, I was wanting to hear that.
Probably, you know what? I'll make an on the fly change here. I'm gonna go A.J. Brown, number 10.
Okay.
I don't love his position. The only reason I don't like Hakeem Butler is heck of fast, big guy. I like him. Just there's a lot of talent now all of a sudden in Arizona. There's a lot of people catching the ball there in Arizona. Had they not drafted Isabella, had they not drafted one more guy, Hakeem Butler, Isabella, and
Keyshawn Johnson.
No, it wasn't him, was it?
Yeah. Yeah,
okay.
That was the 7th round.
Okay.
The 7th round.
I thought there was one more guy they brought in. But neither here nor there. If it wasn't for that, I'd probably have him a little bit higher. But I'm gonna go A.J. Brown. I'll slide A.J. to my top 10 here, and see what we can do with that. So I'm gonna on the fly take Hakeem Butler out. My number 11 guy is Haskins. Just the opportunity he may actually end up starting day one for the Redskins. He's been kind of compared to a couple of different guys in the league. I think Ben Roethlisberger was kind of a comparison for him. If you can get a top 15 quarterback, I'll take him with where everybody else is. So I'm going him number 11.
Yeah, I'm with you. I have Dwayne at 11 as well.
Oh, wow. Eye to eye.
Yeah. Same thing he said, the potential to start. He's got a strong arm. He's a great pocket passer. And at the same time, he'll get out, he'll move on you, but he's a pass first and he makes good decisions. I believe he had something crazy, like 50 touchdowns to 8 interceptions or 40 to 8, something like that. It was ridiculous in college. So yeah. I think he's a great talent and a good fit in Washington.
Absolutely. Who's your number 12?
So my number 12, like I said, I moved him everywhere, and I could actually switch him with Darrell. I could switch him with a lot of people, but it's DK Metcalf. We've already talked about him. So for the same reasons he's as high as he is, like I said, I heard about him only playing on one side of the field. Is his route running very good? There's a lot of question marks that we don't know, blinded by the great, speaking for myself, blinded by the great combine and the specimen and the grades. So I got him down at 12, but like I said, he's moved a lot.
Absolutely. You're going to laugh. And maybe I should laugh at myself. I didn't realize where I had number 12. Darrell Henderson. All right, so.
Wow! Oh,
he has to be moved back.
Everybody right now. I want you to rewind the podcast. Rewind it about 2-3 minutes and just listen. Just start over. Just start right there and listen all over again. That was fantastic.
I didn't realize I had him top 12, man, so I got to like, oh, shoot. For all the reasons I mentioned, I think he should have been mid-second round. I think the talent had me there, and Wow. What was I
There's just
doing?
It comes down to this. It comes down to the fact that when you look at the draft as a whole, there's just not that many people
exactly.
that are in other positions. They're in great positions. They just aren't. So you get to the point where you choose talent. You just go with talent regardless of where it is.
Actually, I'm telling. I think I was. Yeah. Let me just shut up. Yep, I messed that up. I totally forgot I put him in top 12. And I think, as you said, it just wasn't that many people. I think you could probably change him out. I probably will once I do my official ones with Miko Hartman. I think he has a chance to come in and in an Andy Reid system. If he can be 80% what Tyreek Hill was in that role, he'll be over 1,000 yards and 6 or 7 touchdowns. So you'll be happy with that, especially out of a rookie. He has the speed. I'm not sure if he has I'm not sure if he has that next level speed. But he has the speed. But I'm not sure if he has that. Tyreek Hill had a gear that I haven't seen before. And I think you and I have spoken about this before, where there was one time, and it's what sold me on. I was never sold on Tyreek Hill. One time I seen him catch this bomb, but he was surrounded by 2 guys who were about 2.5 yards away from him on each side, and he just hit the gas, and he split him. And they couldn't touch him. I was like, what? What happened? Did you guys not see him? I mean, was you blinded by the sun? Why did you tackle him? They just couldn't touch him. Is Hardman that same kind of a guy? I don't know. I heard a lot of people saying possibly they should have taken Paris Campbell. There's some different, but he has the speed. Andy Reid is a great offensive mind. I think they'll coach him up, and again, if he can be 75 to 80%, you're getting yourself a baller.
Definitely, yeah, absolutely. I mean, he's going to Kansas City. You know, at that point, it's kind of just
right. I mean, the only other guy there that catch the ball is often injured Sammy Watkins, so you may be the number one.
Right. Yeah. So if you can get that deep threat opportunity. Absolutely, and you talked a little bit about Paris Campbell. I actually wanted to mention him going to Indianapolis with Devin Funless. I think he has all the opportunity to get a great solidified role. If Funchess keeps it for this first year, maybe whatever they paid him, that's probably why they paid him to come in and get that second role. But I think Paris is more than capable moving forward to be opposite side of T.Y.
Absolutely. Well, we're going to go ahead and end this up. I did have 1 or 2 honorable mentions, and not that I just think it's something you should be aware of. Not someone I'm drafting in the first or even the second round. We'll probably do our second round next week. Little Jordan Humphrey went to the Saints. There's no established number 2 there with the Saints. He was undrafted rookie. I liked him in Texas. He has some size. I guess we'll see what happens, but I liked him going to the Saints. And Elijah Holyfield, he ran horribly slow at the combine. I think it was 4.72, 4.78, something like that. And that completely tainted his draft stock to the point where he was undrafted. But he's going behind CMC in Carolina. They already said they want to start limiting his touches a little bit there, just too much of a workload. And don't get me wrong, they showed a picture today of CMC being pretty jacked. He's been in the weight room, but getting that many touches can wear you down and possibly even an injury. And if he's injured, I like Holyfield to take the backfield there. So that's a couple people to look after.
Yeah, absolutely. I had 2 I wanted to look at real quick. Jay Sternberger. This is a guy that I just did a rookie draft. He went undrafted, so I went in and tried to get him afterwards. Tight end, great receiving tight end, fantastic route runner. He's going to be in Green Bay.
He was out of Texas A&M, right?
I did not look at the. Okay. I just looked at. I didn't look at that college, but
I think he was out of Texas A&M, and he was the leading receptions, and he led the team in yards. I do believe. Great pickup, but he's still going to be behind Jimmy Graham for a year, so no, that's a long play.
Right. Yeah. And my other guy was Alexander Madison, running back, going to the Vikings.
Yep.
I think that he has every opportunity to beat out Abdullah and get that backup role behind Cook, who we know has been injured the past 2 years, and he could get into a role there very quickly.
Absolutely. And he's a bigger guy, right?
Yeah, Madison's a big ass.
Yeah, he may
a
step
big
into
haul right there.
Yeah, some of that Latavius Murray role. He may get a little bit of that, so he may be fantasy relevant right off the bat. Now, I think they're going to try to get Dalvin more and more involved, a little more than he was last year. But I mean, you figure maybe if he can get, and I use percentages a lot, 70% of that Latavius Murray role, 60%. I mean, for a rookie behind a starter, that's that might be somebody who can flex here and there.
Yeah,
absolutely,
definitely.
Well, look, folks. Thank you so much again for coming back. We certainly do appreciate you. We'll come back next week or two and go over our second round, and obviously we'll be bringing more content. And as the season ramps up here, we'll be on more and more often. Dave, do you have anything else for the people before we get out of here?
You guys enjoy your next couple of months, and I know there's going to be a lot of startup drafts, a lot of rookie drafts and things like that, so make sure you're tuning in and getting the best help you can possibly get. Appreciate the support.
Absolutely. And as always, if you can dodge a wrench, you can dodge a... Wow. If you dodge a wrench, you can dodge a football? It's not football. What is it saying? I lost it. If you can dodge a wrench, you can dodge a ball. Jesus. Wow.
It's been a long time.
Woo!
Remember, hey, now you guys remember, he quote-unquote has hay fever, and he quote-unquote says Daryl Henderson should go nowhere in the first round. So it's been an off day for Mr. Oli.
It's been a long, hey, having my senior moment, it's okay. I'm going to get some sleep. And if you can dodge a wrench, you can dodge a ball. We're out of here. Have a good night.